Good morning. It's Tuesday Live. It's Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock. Nice to see you again. John Sautter in front of the camera and April Hollider behind the camera. And we're here at the corner of John Wooden Drive and Tower Drive. Some of you may or may not know those by street numbers, but you certainly know the location. We're going to talk about Ross-Ade Stadium, Cary Quadrangle, Lambert Fieldhouse, and Mackey Arena. Many of you have been by this very spot many times as you go to different sporting events, and we thought we would kind of relive some of the memories of the times that you've been here. So we're going to walk kind of quickly through some of the iconic structures around us. So first is Ross-Ade Stadium, opened in 1924. George Ade and David Ross came across a nice little meadow here on the Tilt Farm and thought this would be a nice location for the football stadium. The football team had established itself, doing fairly well, and they thought it was time for a stadium, and so they began the process of digging it. Now this is 1924, mind you, so we don't have a lot of the equipment they have today, but I brought a picture of that. I'm going to put my umbrella down just for a second. And so here you get a chance to see the steam shovel that they used back then, and some of the wagons to haul away the dirt. And then at the bottom is a picture actually of the stadium itself that just had the east and west stands, not much else around it. Hills and Dales is out here. The university is just beginning. So a very interesting challenge for one thing that results in the stadium we have today with that seats just around 57,000. Obviously the press box has been replaced with a pavilion where we have premium seating and suites and all the things to be competitive in the football world today. So just an iconic location. If you look closely, you can see the lights that they have installed. We are now going to start playing night games. In fact, our first game is September the 8th against Ohio University on a Friday night. So we have Friday night Big Ten football games coming here starting this fall. We're going to start moving around this corner now, and we're going to come and have a look at Cary Quadrangle. In fact, right behind me is East Hall. East Hall was opened up in 1928, just 4 years later, named for Franklin Cary. Franklin Cary was a farmer, but he was an industrialist, president of a cable company in Chicago, did very well, and unfortunately lost his teenage son just as Franklin Levering Cary was going to be a freshman at Purdue. And he wanted to have a monument for his son, and so he and R.B. Stewart worked out an arrangement where they would locate Cary Quadrangle right here, so people as they arrived and left for football games would always be reminded of the Cary family. So Cary East opened in 1928, still houses around 1,500 men, one of the largest all-male facilities of public universities in the country. Has been renovated several times, and we just put in brand new windows. We took 3 rooms and made 2, so the men now have walk-in closets and bathrooms connecting 2 rooms. So if you're a male sports fan at Purdue University, there's no better location than right here. Just to my left would be Northeast Hall. Northeast Hall opened up in 1931. It was the next of the buildings to be built, and it now houses in the basement the athletic training facility. So that's where the training room is. That's where the athletes take their meals. All those that are eligible, football, basketball, women's basketball, all take their training table meals. 1 meal a day for those sports per athlete is served there. It's been there going for years, and it's just an all-American dining room is the name of the place, and it's won some awards for its construction. So Cary Quadrangle, an iconic place on campus with its architecture, its huge courtyard. It has fireplaces and chimneys. Has a great feel about it. Then moving on as we go counterclockwise, behind me is Lambert Fieldhouse. Lambert Fieldhouse opened in 1931, and it was and still is the home to the indoor track and field. For many years home to Purdue's swimming and diving teams that were located there, as well as basketball. This is where Ward Piggy Lambert coached John Wooden as they played basketball in this facility. It's now the home to wrestling and to health and kinesiology department have been located there. Still has the indoor track, which houses the indoor track meets. as well as a lot of our ROTC units are there early in the morning, getting their physical training workouts there. So just still an iconic facility on campus that is still being used quite a bit. And then as we continue around, we get behind me and we have Mackey Arena. Mackey Arena opened up in 1967. Opened up, and our first game, some of you may recall, was UCLA versus Purdue University. And a fellow named Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, played Rick the Rocket Mount in our very first game here. UCLA won that game by 2 points, and we're not quite over that game yet. But that was the first game played here. It's been recently renovated to the tune of about $100 million. It now seats around just over 14,000 fans. It has premium seating, and the sports medicine facility is probably the biggest addition they had, which it's state of the arts in terms of keeping our 400 scholarship athletes in good shape for competition. We now have Cady Court, named for Gene Cady. The facility is named for Red Mackey, our athletic director. For many years, he was here at the same time that Fred Hovde and R.B. Stewart was here, and the university and our sports complex was growing significantly. I want to backtrack just a little bit to Lambert Fieldhouse and mentioned one of the tragedies on campus, and that was in 1947, and that was when the east bleachers collapsed. I mention that only because I do travel quite a bit to alumni clubs around the country, and it's not unusual to have somebody come up to me and tell me that they were at that game, February in 1947 against Wisconsin, when at the halftime the bleachers collapsed, and unfortunately 3 students died and about 300 folks were injured during the bleacher collapse that occurred in Lambert Fieldhouse. So I just wanted to mention that event that occurred also. As we kind of conclude here, Mackey Arena in the background, and if you look way in the distance, you might be able to see the iconic Boilermaker statue way down there. It's just a perfect photo opportunity if you happen to be on campus also. Yesterday was the first day of classes, so you see a lot of students scurrying around, some with umbrellas, some not. Some didn't believe mom and dad to bring an umbrella, but now they know it's true. And so it's just a great time to be on campus and see the excitement again as classes start up and we're back at it again in fall of 2017. We hope you continue to enjoy these Purdue Facebook Live presentations. If you have comments or questions or suggestions of locations, we're always looking forward to those too. So for April and myself, thanks very much, and hail Purdue.